Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso have just dropped a truth bomb in his recent speech that he gave when he paid a visit to the northern province of Burkina Faso. Ladies and gentlemen, the things he said in this video is going to get everybody up from their seat. Now, pay attention because everything in this video was recorded in French, but with our AI tool, we were able to convert it from French to English. So hit the like button as you enjoy the video.
Hello everyone, before we begin, today, perhaps I will ask these people to stand up and take a minute of our time to applaud our various fighting forces who are currently north of our position, fighting and reclaiming our lands. So 1 minute of applause. Thank you all very much, please. We wish a speedy recovery to all those who are injured, and may God welcome our fallen comrade into the kingdom of heaven. Thank you all very much. Today is a great day because this morning we decided to come and speak with you here in the Yadra region. And by definition, we know very well that this is the region where people don't mince words, where we speak the truth. Isn't that right? So this morning I'm going to speak frankly. I'm going to speak bluntly and without mincing words as well. I'm going to be direct. So consider yourself officially warned about this. I think there are high expectations from all the people, everywhere in every region we visit. I can say that the needs are the same almost everywhere. We have practically the same situation in every region we visit. So this is to say that we are aware of the situation, we know the problem, as someone said, we know the illness, and everything we are doing today is to cure it. There is a lot to be done, and I have always said it with the snap of a finger, I cannot solve everything. It's not possible. But we are making every effort we can. We are making sacrifices so that we can achieve our goals as quickly as possible. And if we have ultimately decided to undertake this incredibly significant mission, it is only because we firmly believed it was absolutely essential for our success. That our people should also know happiness. We keep saying it, we were born in conditions, maybe not easy ones. We grew up, we saw Burkina, we also saw other countries through the news, and maybe we traveled to some countries in the meantime. We saw the realities and we also asked ourselves questions. Why? Why can't our country also develop and prosper like those countries? As I said last time, there is no reason that in some countries, when they just discovered oil, in less than 30 or 40 years, everything changed completely. But why in Africa can't we manage to do the same thing? We have oil and other types of minerals beneath our soil. Take the example of Dubai, which is nearby. 30 years ago, there were only 1 or 2 buildings there. Today, I'm sure that many people here from the private sector enjoy taking flights to Dubai to do business. And they never miss the chance to make little videos to show off the beauty of the city. Buildings have sprung up everywhere and everything has changed. All just because of oil exploitation. But how many countries exploit oil in Africa? Do you have any idea about the expertise involved? So that's a question we need to ask ourselves. Here in Burkina, we exploit gold and many other minerals, even though we haven't discovered oil yet. But what do we have to do? So I also came here so that we can ask ourselves some questions. It's true today, not just as a Burkinabé, but as an African, that we should ask ourselves questions, and the right questions. First, I might go through the different questions that have been asked here. And the questions that are relevant to today's agenda, I will answer them later. For those that are outside the agenda, I might provide some answers. And to promise you that we are hard at work to resolve all the problems as quickly as possible. Already there are quite a few questions that are addressed directly to you, the ministers, and I suppose you have In particular, the Minister of Humanitarian Action regarding the Center for People with Disabilities, the Center for the Elderly, and all of that. You will see what can be done. And as I said, this center should no longer just be a place to gather or only use during celebrations. It must contribute to training. So see what can urgently be done so that we can rehabilitate them. Regarding the disability card, I think there is a need to... You will see what needs to be organized with the various services so that people can recognize the disability card. Because there's no point in issuing them if people go to the services and have difficulties with them. So see which organization you will set up to be able to do this. In addition to that, I think this also concerns our fellow students as well. The issue of the City University restaurant, it's really weighing on us. The infrastructure, the facilities, it's a heavy burden for us, a real burden. But be sure of one thing, we've already started. The initiative has been launched, we've already begun. And everything that will be done in the field of education, I'm sure that in 10 years, people will be surprised. But we have extensive programs to ensure that students and pupils are placed in conditions of dignity, above all, so that they can work. It's for the future of the country. It's for the future. We've finished our studies. We won't be going back to study anymore, but we want to make sure that, as I told the minister, if we have to build and create the right conditions, it should make us want ourselves to go back and study again. Thank you. It will come. It's true that many university centers were built before us, but there was no infrastructure. So today we've started with the lecture halls. The restaurants will come, the dormitories will come. But with a snap of my fingers, I can't solve all of this today. It's true that politicians have spent their time flattering people. Every time during campaigns they say, we'll do this for you, we'll do that for you. I can't make those promises. I'm going to make you a little promise, and where we can do it, we will do it. I'm saying this because just now I spoke with Balunara, where he was telling me about the road. Royowa Tugan, a road on which, well, private sector actors, standards, have insisted on this. He made me understand that this road, they promised to pave it before I was even born. It's been there since the 1970s, or I don't know, since that time they kept telling you the funding is secured, we're going to pave it. And every 5 years, you voted, and the road is still there, it's not paved. It's the same thing, all the roads, pretty much everywhere in Burkina, it's like that. You said to yourselves, well, there are a lot of former politicians here. You see that what you did wasn't right. You help people. Today, we have officially decided to move forward with a completely new and innovative approach. That's it, and you need to stay the course. If we created Faso Mevo, it's precisely because of all this. When we talk to each other, everywhere in Burkina Faso, there is the problem of roads. But what are we doing about it? We need to be able to equip ourselves massively, get everyone to contribute, and be able to build our roads quickly. And we have set ourselves the deadline of the end of the year so that all regions, even the new ones, have their own brigade on site. That's what we're working on right now. The brigade has already arrived, but it is still getting up to speed. First of all, I was also telling the traditional chief, you can't just bring in a government brigade and send it straight out into the field. There are people who used to be drivers who went over there. They took the trucks and the machines and they burned out the clutch discs. So we need to train them, let them get the hang of things for a few months before coming in and starting the work. So all these roads, it's up to you to plan them together with the governor, as I've already said, along with the relevant local chiefs. You will decide which roads are priorities and so on, and you will build your road. So your machines will be there, everything will be at your disposal. You build the road as you wish, and the state understands. Thank you. Because it will be the same in all the regions of Burkina Faso. That's what we want. There's no reason for you to go elsewhere, drive on paved roads, even film yourselves. We can do it here too. Everything that can be done elsewhere can be done here. So on this point, there's no need to worry, we will get there. That's it, we will get there, that's certain. Regarding some of the questions about trade fairs, artisan days and spaces, I think the ministers have taken note of all these points. I will remain attentive after the meeting. Everyone has their own area of responsibility. One might say, even the affiliation, the student spoke about affiliating the school with the university, that's so she can study. If that's not possible, that you can do it and report back, explaining why we didn't want to do it that way and so on. Vocational training, they talked a lot about it, many people mentioned it, so you see how we can gradually integrate the differences between them. So, there are certainly many other complex questions that we will come back to in much more detail later on, but we all really need to be fully aware of this situation, to address our shortcomings and above all, to stay focused. I notice that many people perhaps don't always know where we are because they don't know where we come from. And I think that the issue of civic vigilance for the region, here for example, someone said something very important. In 2022, when we arrived, the Waiwe road was cut off. Even the Wega airstrip was not accessible. And it was worrying. And it was the same for almost all the towns. Even National Road number 1 was cut off as well. But I think we must acknowledge the various forces we mobilized, the VDB, who made sacrifices, so that today we can settle in areas like Banu, Sidi, and Ndiansi, which is currently underway. And the forces are pushing the fight all the way to the border. And everything will be secured. The enemy cannot defeat us if we are a nation. And to be a nation, we need a discipline, as I said. We need self-sacrifice, we need to have a goal to focus on. And that's what we're going to talk about in great detail. If we don't have a goal, we'll wander aimlessly, not knowing where we're going. And if we don't know where we live, if we have no reference points, it's like someone in the middle of a desert with no landmarks. He doesn't know where to go. He doesn't know what to do. No, we need to have reference points. And to have reference points, we need to go back and question history. And we must not hide any part of our history. And we should also make sure that Stockholm Syndrome does not become a common illness among all Africans. You know, Stockholm Syndrome, it's a syndrome where it's when the person who harms you ends up being someone you love and protect. Do you understand? That is to say, the aggressor, the one who harms you, who oppresses you, you end up even loving him, defending him, protecting him. Many people are affected by this Stockholm Syndrome, whether it's here in Burkina or in Africa in general, because Africa has suffered a lot, and people have tried to erase Africa's history. And many people don't even know the history of Africa. Yet we must not remain ignorant. We need to know our history in order to know where we are going. Africa was not always like this. Let's acknowledge that. I told you once, if our ancestors in our bushlands, as we walk around, we see that the ancestors were able to take earth and extract iron from it. But why is it that today we can't do it? It's because we've lost something along the way. And what have we lost? How did we lose it? These are the questions we need to ask ourselves. Once we ask ourselves these questions and find the answers, we are cured of our illness, the Stockholm Syndrome. And these questions, we must ask them bravely and face them head on. But as I said, we are not politicians. We don't avoid problems. We face problems and solve them. We don't just move them elsewhere. There are many topics in our societies that we want to address. Oh, it's taboo. Oh, it's this or that. As soon as the politicians speak up, they'll say, oh, if you mess around, you'll lose your electoral base, Well, we're going to address this topic, we're going to tell the truth. And then, well, if you like it, that's how it is, and if you don't like it, that's how it is too. But it's our story. And we need to remember our story, where we come from, what was done to us that made us the way we are. This is a big rant that I'm going to deliver to all black people, if I may say so, here at Waiwiwa. And why Waiwiwa? I'll tell you why Waiwiwa. Waiwiwa, what does it mean? It means to come and bow down. What I'm going to say today marks the beginning of a new way of doing things. And with that, if you accept, if we go for it, those who attack us will end up coming here to bow down. Ultimately, when all is said and done. But if you don't understand the significance of my message, tomorrow will not be good. And I want us to listen to each other carefully, to understand what is being said. Because many people don't know what we are going through. This morning I told the various forces, everyone needs to know why we are fighting. We didn't just wake up one morning to go attack someone. They were the ones who got up with weapons to come and attack Burkina Faso. That's what happened, and that's how the war started. It's been going on for more than 10 years. When the first ones came, they didn't come with sticks and cookies. They came with weapons and they killed. And that's what we're experiencing. Very well. Why are they fighting us? Today, everyone is going to fight against it. It's our wealth, our resources underground, and everything else. So, if they can kill us all and take our land, they will do it. In fact, that's what they're doing. We need to be aware of that. And to do this, they often go through us, our own brothers and all. You see, the last time when we decided to break off diplomatic relations, I told myself that within 2 or 3 weeks they would react. But you see, condescension makes people become foolish. They have become so crazy and foolish that the reaction is immediate. Because in their minds, what is it? How can a black man say that to me, the master of fairness? That's what's going on in their heads. And there, it's systematic, just like what happened during the time of slavery. We have to catch those black people, give them a punishment so that the others see that things don't work like that. They made people come from all over ROI to carry out deadly attacks in Gairi, in Solan, in Seba. Because in Akayiri, they waited for the worst to pass through Tafada for logistical hope. They were left with just one company in trouble, and then a large number of them came, rushing to try their luck for the future. In Solam, they made a mistake. They ran into determined gendarmes. Over there, they subdued them, and others as well. We started to settle the score. But what am I trying to tell you? Before sending those gendarmes to attack, you see the slaves of Salon. You see their TV channel there. When you watch certain shows, it's black people who are hosting them. They're actually black French people who have French nationality. But it's black people they use to host these shows. And their correspondents are black as well. You even see Burkinabés who have thrown stones at their homeland, who are somewhere out there. They're the ones who are their correspondents, and so on. On those days, they got themselves ready. They put on makeup before going into the studios. They finished all their makeup and everything. They wait for the results of the attack so they can go on set and say, they killed this many RDS here, they wiped out Telvin. That proves that security isn't working, just like someone had blatantly lied at the European Union, saying that things aren't going well in Burkina. So they were getting ready to confirm their lie. When they finished putting on their makeup and everything, they called for a debate. It's not good. They stayed in mourning. They observed several days of mourning. Some of them can't even remove their makeup anymore. They're just there, that's all. They don't know what to say. All their lies have been swallowed. Now, we're just sitting here watching them. That's how they are. But they've always used black people against other black people. Don't even go looking for it. Our enemies are among us. And that brings me to give you a general piece of advice. You see, we are in a revolution and we've chosen a path. And people need to stay focused. A lot of people say they're focused, that they're revolutionaries, but it's still you who go and follow the pages of those stateless people and you believe what they say. And you panic, you get worried, and you get yourself into all sorts of states. Why? Stay focused. I've heard a lot of noise lately and everything. And again, you yourselves, you contribute to creating maybe even problems without realizing it. Yes, we launched a Baroque diaspora operation. Often we carry out these operations to test the reliability of our state. Do people invest in our country or not? You see, we got more than we wanted. And it's during this period that all the communications like, oh, things aren't going well in Burkina, there's an attack here, things aren't right at the top of the state, they're doing this, they're doing that. And a lot of people are worried. They're calling us about it. I'm going to tell you something and let this be clear in everyone's mind. The context we're living in now is not the same as in 1987. Let that be clear. I wasn't in prison and no one came to prison to come get me after a coup d'etat to put me in power. Like what happened with Beatrice. It's completely different. Because yes, Sankara was in prison, they left power, he came, he was freed, and he was put in power. It's normal that people might talk about number one, number two, or whatever. That's not our context. When I left with my men, I was at the front. There wasn't a single soldier ahead of me. So it's the same thing. It's not like I came to Ouagadougou, went to sit and hide in a villa, and then told the guys, go ahead and do it. And then in the evening, I puff out my chest in front of RTB. It's not like that. When the 14.5 turned, I was less than 100 meters away, and I was the first victim. So avoid mixing things up. Neither number two nor whatever number. There is absolutely no number two. There is no 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. It is perfectly clear, and it is completely straightforward. If now, through your communications, your targets, you think someone is strong, you will create problems for that person, and you will bear the consequences of your problems together. Let that be clear. And the other thing, what is it? Everyone who works with me knows my code of conduct, I have a mission, and they all follow the mission. That's why we're here. And if someone messes up, I will keep you in check without it being in your name. There's no saying that this one, there is no strong man. I'm coming back to you again, the business operators who often say, you have to go negotiate with someone because he, the man, doesn't have a strong man with me. No, stop that. Because it's you who put these ideas into some people's heads, and people can really start to believe they're strong. If you leave and start behaving in an anti-revolutionary way, right away, I will punish you. In any case, I always take the time to check, to have proof, and I will call you, sit you down in front of me, and tell you, here, and I will punish you. So that's how it is. So all the comrades you see, whether they're ministers or not, I've told them all. Anyone who messes around, who behaves in an anti-revolutionary way, and if I have proof in hand, I will punish you. And their punishment? If normally they would get, say, a level A punishment, I double or even triple it, because you are responsible. So let it be clear, stop going to listen to that nonsense. We are focused. I didn't give up my youth for this, to come here and mess around with my mission. I'm young, but I no longer have a youth to live. Do you really think I'm going to live my youth again? It's over. They pick me up in the morning, there I am, in my house, and take me to the office. At night, they take me, and I sit at the door like a prisoner. Do you think I'm going to mess around with my mission? No. I didn't sacrifice my youth for laughs. I'm not going to play around with my mission. I have a dream for my country, and that dream will come true. The big shots in the rooms, the ones being watched, we've been observing people for 4 years now, talking to some of them. Take this seriously. I am not going to sacrifice my youth and let someone come and mess around with me. Now, I'm going to start making an impact and moving forward. Those who know, who don't want trouble, shouldn't come near us. Because if you come to us, you'll have problems. So you can't get in our way. So stay focused, stay sharp. We have to develop our homeland. That's the most important thing. Everyone should have enough to eat, just as the person in charge of the elderly said. I'm very happy to hear that we are eating in the present. That's the indicative tense. That's something to be proud of. But we spend our time ordering people come and give us food. Lately, a lot of countries have been coming to see us about NGOs. I say to myself, wait a minute, what's going on? Your immune energies have come in and gone out here. We have our dignity to defend. There are things we no longer accept. Go give elsewhere. We don't need your help. There's none of that here. Well, if you think about it, it strongly suggests that they must have something else entirely different in mind. It's not really help. It's like someone said, if you want to come help a father because his children aren't doing well, why would you come? And then you don't give to the father, you secretly give it, you want to go give it to the children to imply that the fathers do nothing. That's what you're trying to say. That doesn't work. Our culture doesn't accept that. So, they have used many channels to enslave us. I've spoken about NGOs, infiltration into the army, a lot of trucks. We are simply not going to be able to accept it. Because all of this is meant to keep us down and allow them to freely plunder our resources. It's time for all of us to understand that our resources must be put to use. I know that everyone needs to have clean drinking water. You mentioned the water problem. But are we going to keep encouraging those who drink champagne at the expense of everyone else just to have clean water? We cannot accept that. But very often what happens when we ourselves fight against those who have champagne so that everyone can have clean drinking water, the one with champagne pays the one without water to sing his praises or to turn against you. And you accept it too. Baboyne, is that clever or not? Hey, pull yourself together. His word, There have been problems with Hawaii Bia for years, but now it's going to be resolved right away. In any case, the Prime Minister launched some works the other day. I passed by this morning, I saw the pipes coming in force to Waiuya. There's a dam that needs to be built, that's it. It will help supply all of Waiuya. So the problem will be solved by then. You won't have water problems anymore. The years spent dealing with these issues, as I told you, are over. God willing, it will end. All of this is the meaning of our struggle. It's about dignity. We don't want our mothers to have to sleep in front of wells at impossible hours just to fetch a can of water to feed the family. Wait, we are rich, we need dignity. And wealth must be shared. And to share wealth, this is what it's about. And now this also brings me to a rant. To certain people who are here today, you see, as I mentioned, gold and all that. Gold is appearing everywhere. It's a fight. People are killing each other over gold. Stop it. The state is going to take control of the situation because a lot of people are going out to extract gold. First of all, we are destroying our environment in a chaotic way. And when they're done, many go off to buy vehicles. Take 1,000 people who go and buy vehicles worth 20 million each. That means we've given away 20 billion just like that somewhere. Yet we don't even have roads to drive on. As the saying goes, there are no roads. But are we building roads or what are we doing? So we need to talk to each other, understand each other, and be able to build together. Everyone will get their share. But let's avoid squandering our own wealth ourselves. Do we understand each other? This is just the introduction, so you can understand a bit where I'm coming from. Because today I'm going to catch you, and I'm going to catch everyone. So, let's get back to the topic. You need to understand the context of life, the general context. What do these people want from us, and what do we ourselves want from ourselves? That's what this is about. I'm going to tell you two things that will bring us back a bit to everything we've been talking about. You know, within our four walls, there are things that are said with those who come to see us. Often, when we don't feel like saying something, we choose the right moment to say it. Today, I'm going to tell you two stories. And about these stories, I will comment so that you understand that we must fight, and above all, we must be smarter. Because it's serious what awaits us if we don't understand. Yes. During the last interview, I said that one day I would talk about something concerning the local consumer and everything related to that. One day, people from the secret services of a Western country came to see us. They offered us some products to put in food and send to areas where there are terrorists. These products can be put in everything, in drinks, whether it's beer, sweets, cigarettes, rice, milk, they can be put in anything. And one of the products, its purpose is to destroy the brain. That is so that the person can no longer think. It gradually shuts down your neurons. There you go. In any case, it messes you up. And after a few years, the ability to think, to do things, one of the products, that one targets physical ability. If the person was able to run 12 kilometers, after a few years it might be 6 kilometers, 4 kilometers. They become weak. The other effect is drowsiness. They will start to become, I don't know. Doctors know exactly what it affects and everything. We listened carefully. We requested the North to hold their ground. They forgave us and then they left. But before leaving, we asked them, have you ever tried this somewhere else? Does it work very well? If not, why don't we just pay and do it? Because they came to offer it to us. It's so that in areas where there are terrorists, those individuals become weakened, and in a short time, in a few years, we can easily crush them. They told us yes, they have already used this somewhere. In Africa, such as in Amnesia and Ganwas, they have already used it several times. You know what gave me chills? I said, yeah, Africa is doomed. In fact, they are already using this in Africa. That is a certainty. Just look at certain populations, even here among us. Look at the behavior of some people, the reactions of some. Look at young men today. Our grandparents had 4 wives, 5 wives, 10 wives. They managed to satisfy them today. Is it true or not? Isn't it true? Hey! This is the revolution. Nothing is hidden. What can be said to save must be said. That's the reality. Take young people today. They're here, they have problems. It's not going well. Look at the problems with childbirth. People are here. Miscarriages, problems having children, it's coming in, it's going out. Do you think that's for nothing? Look at some countries in Africa. You can check the statistics. There are countries that are 2, 3, 4 times bigger than Burkina, but that don't have the population of the Mokans. They're coming to an end. My fellow Africans, is it not time for us to finally wake up? Can we not work for ourselves and produce our own food to sustain our people, instead of just continuing to consume what others provide? Things that come from elsewhere and we don't even know what's inside them. And what's the height of irony for Africans? Often, black people themselves go out and say that the stuff sold in Africa isn't the same as what's sold in Europe. What did they put in it? We saw the scandal with Nestle, Nido, and others. The stuff they sell to their children over there isn't the same as what they sell in Africa and all that. But black people, they don't agree. No. They want to consume what comes from their own place. This is to tell our mothers that supporting local consumption is a battle. And that's why we want to do all the possible processing ourselves, so that we consume what we produce and avoid importing things we don't know about. Because it's a serious problem. They've been trying to wipe us out for a long time. Are you aware of that? People came first through conquests, Arab-Muslim conquests. It's been over 1,000 years of slavery in Africa. That part, by the way, is something they're trying to erase from our history. And many people don't know, they're ignorant of that. We endured over 1,000 years of slavery with the Arabs. And the last slave market to operate was in Medina in 1962. Are you pretending, or do you really not know? And there, they used to castrate the men. The men were castrated wherever they were, so they couldn't have children anymore. That still wasn't enough to finish off Africa. Then the Westerners came for 400 years. They deported us for their labor, killed us in every possible way. But the people of the North have always resisted. But why? It's only today that we can't realize this. To resist and turn the tide. Why is it that despite all the trauma and barbarity they've inflicted on us, we now love them? We love them more than ourselves. That's the Stockholm Syndrome I was talking about. That's the problem. And if we don't become aware of this, we are lost, we are finished, because they will keep on destroying us one way or another. And that's what I'm telling you about, through products that are injected and so on. Look at black people. They now love those who attacked them yesterday more than they love themselves. City misery. There are many like that among us. If you don't know the history, read about it. You'll see, no one loves us. We need to be aware of that. But what kind of lack of awareness is it to go seeking the love of someone who doesn't love you? Why? I was saying the other day, I was telling myself, it was in 94. In 1994, in France, here in India, there was a wildlife park that was called Bambula Park Wesekwala, an animal park like the one we have in Ziniari and elsewhere. So people would go there to look at the animals. But you know what else was in those parks? Mostly black people. Yes, about 30 Ivorians were there, and it was mainly Ivorians who were in the park also to represent a race of animals. In 1994, the park was still there, and it was white people who fought to have the park closed. It wasn't black people who fought for it. You don't know your own history. And here you are. You love those who oppressed you. But we're like, what's wrong with us? And that brings me to the second story. Throughout the course of the year 2023, I had the pleasure of receiving and hosting quite a few different people. There was a gentleman in the group whom I call Daniel, a Frenchman, who said, Mr. President, you know, you are the same phrase, the famous phrase, you are ahead of your time. What you want to do, your people will not understand you. And he says, you see Sankara, he was ahead of his time, he wanted to do good. But you see, when Sankara was killed, it went through as smoothly as a letter in the mail. That's the expression he used. Indeed, no one reacted. You agreed, you approved, there was no more reconciliation. Who went out to protest against Sankara's death and all that? And I told him, yes, but don't let them stop us from changing, that's all. He told me no. He said to me, Mr. President, black people are cursed. He said, excuse me, but black people are cursed. They will never be able to understand what you want to do. They will never be able to be consistent. You'll see. Normally, if I weren't president, they would leave with a few teeth missing, maybe. But I tightly gripped my chair, steeled my heart, and remained sitting right there, simply refusing to listen. And he reassured me that you will never understand what I am going to do, and that a time will come when you will have to explain this. I thanked them and said goodbye. As you can see, I recalled meeting him just a short while ago. And on what occasion? Because he's the man from the DGSE. And you see, they maneuvered everything. They tried everything. All people want is civil war in Gubina. There, if you kill, they come to loot order and then leave again. It's peaceful. There was a man at the embassy here who fled before we expelled the embassy. Surely with the complicity of certain people, I'm saying it now, a certain Emmanuel, maybe he'll hear what I'm saying. I'm trying. He and the Chargé d'Affaires met with many people in the artistic world, the cultural world, and so on to prepare the funds, and especially also the world of communication. This is because their ultimate goal is to act as soon as possible, as they move forward on the way to completely dismantle and terminate our revolution. But for a long time, they've been manipulating all the topics. Ethnicity, religion, these two topics have always destroyed Africa. Look at all the wars in Africa. They're manipulated through religion, through roles, and on social media you see it's manipulated every day. But Mr. Daniel had his own theory and strategy, which people over there did not accept. But just a short while ago, Daniel officially joined the jury panel. He suggested that they should start heading toward the east, strategically using the bonds of friendship to manipulate others through the influence of religion. And they are going to unleash the steamroller against Burkina Faso. Indeed, one ordinary day we suddenly hear about an imam who makes a truly sensational statement, which even leads to the bizarre arrest of a koala. Akutia, hello to you. But what exactly is this situation? Isn't it strange? She has been officially entrusted with this matter. Following those events, either the very next day or perhaps the day after that, a small minority of students emerges who call themselves the Bright Reds. Since there aren't many of them, they make statements on Facebook that have nothing to do with the situation. This is Daniel's plan. And I believe that those who should follow are the unions who should also come together at the end of the workday to make statements and hope to roll out the steamroller against them. When the order was finally given to take this specific individual into custody, that was precisely the outcome that Daniel had been hoping for, to have him arrested. And if he is indeed arrested and held, then we will just have to wait and see what happens next. By the way, this man is fundamentally bad. And he is fundamentally dishonest. And I'll tell you why. The law he spoke about, he read the law, he understood the law. Nowhere does it say that it is forbidden to shout in the spirit. Nowhere. But that's what he said. To manipulate the SRVD who will follow him. Ah, he wants to ban prayer, he wants to ban prayer. Me, I put a hand on the breast. How can someone be manipulated and not have even a little sense of reflection? That means he is very bad. It's not that he doesn't know, he knows. But he said that praying is forbidden. That's completely false. We said not to erect. You can pray in your office, you can go outside on your device and pray. There's no problem with that. We just don't have an interest in praying. Even in public squares, it's not written anywhere in this law, it doesn't say you can't pray in public squares. We just said you need to get authorization. And so that people know that others are praying there. Imagine you forget someone and the firefighters come to get through to go to a fire or to the main road. The firefighters need to be able to tell you every morning. Normally, the authorizations given by the City Hall for activities on public roads are submitted to them, so that when they go out for interventions, they know where to pass through. So we never said that we didn't want it on the public square. But this man, he said that. Anyway, I'm not going to comment on what he said. But since he is strong, or thought he was strong, because in 2019, he even created an Islamic police force, or something like that, I don't really know. And the politicians were afraid they did nothing. All right, let me repeat this one more time. It is impossible for there to be two captains on one boat. Since he is the one seeking out a confrontation, then he is certainly going to find the trouble he deserves. When he was arrested, what happened? People also took to the streets. Supposedly, it's a supporter who takes to the streets and social media to stir up trouble. The security forces came out. They put an end to it. But what does that mean? It was that day that I remembered the last few days. And I said to myself, this particular gentleman, I really need to go back and carefully remember and reflect on everything that we discussed. Are we truly under some kind of curse, or is it not actually real? At that time, I saw people making posts, talking about religion being above the country. You leave the country, you go where you think you'll be welcomed, because you believe you're cursed. But what nonsense is that? Everywhere you go in this world, the first thing they ask for is your passport and your nationality. That's what allows you to enter somewhere. If someone thinks that religion can get them somewhere, then let them go. No. And we as Muslims need to be careful. We need to be moderate. And I want to acknowledge that because it's actually just a small extremist minority in this context. the majority, in fact, even the good imams. When we hear that kind of preaching, we are now going to encourage them. They are the ones who will educate people about American history. We're radical, let's not kid ourselves. If you're a radical and you think your country is beneath you, that you only have your religion, then leave, go wherever you want. So the real mystery is, are we cursed or not? That's the question I want us to really consider today. I want to discuss a number of topics with you, and we're going to ask ourselves some questions. When we decided that everyone should have enough to eat, we paid for tractors, we paid for inputs, we made seeds, all of agriculture moved forward, and we were able to produce well. And so for the past few months, we've decided to ban rice imports, right? Because we've produced enough rice for us to eat, and so to regulate the market. But there are people who imported rice who aren't happy and who told us that we would fail. And they are having effects on the scale. He prefers to take Burkina's money, go buy rice from farmers in Asia to bring it here, but he doesn't like it when it's our own farmers who benefit from it. Are we cursed or not? So there are some people who really are cursed. It's the wise ones we don't pray for. You'll be able to detect, through my words, all those who have the curse gene in them. And as I keep saying, our big advantage is that the vast majority are not cursed. You understand? It's a minority who are in control. There are many areas in which we live. We try to move forward, but some individuals refuse to let us progress because their own interests matter more than anything else. As for me, I will never accept that. And if you don't stop, in any case, we'll go to war, and I will fight you. That's for sure. That's clear. It's the popular masses that matter. We can't have been here since we first existed. You have all the advantages. You have everything. But please, people need to eat too. People need to live with dignity. But why would people fight against that? And they manipulate. And that's where I was saying not long ago that those who have champagne, when we want everyone to have drinking water, they pay those who don't even have water to drink to fight against us. And often they accept as well and fight against us. Please, you have to think before you act. There are many different things, and many people from all over used to come visit us. They wanted Burkina to become an Islamic state. Terrorism would end, that's for sure. We would have peace, but we would be a rear base, a cancer in the middle of West Africa to destabilize the others. Me, I don't operate like that. You can't manipulate me like that. And when you show that you can't be manipulated, you become an enemy. There are things that I will still keep to myself. But if I have to reveal them one day, I will. But I'm saying this so that those who manipulate people here who don't think too much should be careful. Otherwise, we can go all the way and address the issue. Our country is our country, and we are here fighting for our country. No one loves our country more than we do ourselves. There are a lot of events. I was just talking about production and all that a moment ago. There are people who tend to make comments that undermine social cohesion and so on. And as I said, when this law was adopted, it was us, the Muslims, who were the first to complain. Why aren't the others complaining? Why? But have we ever sat down and asked ourselves why? I think that if you want to attract someone to your religion, it's your behavior that matters. You can make someone come, but that's not everything. You can't force someone. Everyone is a creation of God. And if you think you are truly religious, you must love God's other creatures. Because you didn't give life to anyone. You can't create a human being. It is God who created all of us. You do not have the ability to create a human being, and yet you want to kill a man because he doesn't follow you over time. Why? But ask yourself the right questions. Are we cursed? However, if you consider the Christian faith, many people in Europe are Christians and all that. Nowadays, in 2026, do you hear about people wanting to kill their brother because of an argument or because of religion, that they don't love their brother or want to kill him? Have you heard about that? Is that right? Go to Saudi Arabia, which is the very cradle of Islam. Is it the case today in Saudi Arabia? Do people fight each other? Do they want to kill each other because someone else isn't Muslim? But why is it us, black people? They're ready to hate our brothers, ready to kill them just because someone says it's serious. Why are you ready to kill them when you're not even capable of giving life? And you know very well that God forbids you to kill them. True Muslims, when a mosquito bites them, they're not even allowed to kill it. They have to catch it and let it go. That's what is said. So stop it. Instead of getting all worked up saying, yes, he came to fight Islam. If that's what your Islam is, then yes, we'll fight that. This really isn't just about you. People often claim that it's a religion centered on peace. But you extremists, you need to get a grip. If you don't get a grip, in any case, the fight has already started. That's what led to terrorism. It's extremism. The ones who say, no, the other person must be killed. Because. Why? No, please, take it easy. Take it easy. There are even some people out there who criticize everything. No matter what someone does, they immediately say, oh no, that is only for the kafirs, that is completely kafir. It is as if you have created something wrong. I don't know what else could it be. I'm saying it because it's true. We've had some people suspended. Suspended from what? From preaching. And it will keep happening. If people keep it up, it will keep happening. We will suspend the sermons if someone just goes out at random. And again, I want to say that I congratulate all of those imams, brave, dignified, and patriotic, who continue to preach the good word and awaken people's consciences. We see many of them, and we congratulate and encourage them. But as for the extremists, we will fight them. If you think you can live in the 7th century, then go. Find a bush, sit there, and live. Because normally everything is. Haram, the water from Olea, the pipes, and what else. It's all made by non-Muslims. The pump, it's made by non-Muslims. The electricity, it's made by non-Muslims. The microphones, even in the... The point is to use your intelligence to understand this. And he leaves. He has a big vehicle that's also made by non-Muslims. The plane you take to go over there, that's also made by non-Muslims. Anyway, I'll talk about this topic. It's so you understand that this is the channel through which imperialism operates. To destroy us. And this is only the beginning. I insist on this because it's only the beginning. What is coming is even more serious. Yes, brace yourselves. We immediately talked about the races, the students, the pupils, and everything. The Minister of Higher Education did very well to explain things clearly. People couldn't manipulate it. But let me tell you something. At this very moment, we have more than 1,000 young Burkinabés. We are currently registering in certain countries in the West. They are learning something. According to the latest statistics, I counted 800 and some. I looked at the list. No one is aware of their departure. No one knows what they are doing. The embassies over there are not aware of them. And do you know what they are learning? Sharia, Islamic laws, and Islamic jurisprudence. Not a single one of those 800 names I was shown last time has a profession. Not one. They are coming back to implement Sharia or the same thing. Yes, do you see now why it's important to control these two types? That's why I'm saying this. The important phase is ahead of us. These people, I will bring them back. The only ones who won't come back are those who are no longer Burkinabé. But we need to change. Even you, the imams here, if you can't teach our youth about Islam, you have to do it. It's not certain. And I think you can do it, and we ourselves will take these funds into account. Whether it's young Catholics, young Protestants, we ourselves will find a way, the traditionalists, we will finance everything related to religion ourselves. They do the test, we will find a budget for that. Because a lot of people are drawn to this just for the money, nothing but the money. They receive the funding, they do what they have to do, we take the children out, they leave, learn Sharia, they come back, they want to apply Sharia, they spend 5 years, 7 years in indoctrination. And that's how it is. He comes, he's like that. He says the other one slaughtered halal, and that is exactly the way things are. And in the end, we'll be there among ourselves. We've been led astray, killed, and when they keep on looting what they have to, I could never allow that. So those who were there, I heard people saying no, oh no, and they supported me. It's like, if you supported me because of that, you shouldn't support me anymore. Let's be clear. But we have a goal, and we will reach that goal. All the humans that God created, we have a duty to love them. That's a given. That's why when I sleep, I think about the unknown child. The child I don't know, who is in the farthest reaches of Burkina. Are all the children in Burkina sleeping? If they're not sleeping, then I can't get any sleep myself. Do all the children in Burkina have at least one meal to eat? If they don't have anything to eat, then I won't be able to rest. And I will make sacrifices for that. So I won't let anyone come now and lead us all away from our intended path. Never again. And we need to become aware, I'm speaking about Africa in general, about black people, about our history, about our current situation, because slavery is not over. People are still continuing slavery. Don't you know that? They're still capturing black people, even today, in 2026. They don't consider you as human beings. They see you as animals or as things. But why us? Are we supposed to behave like animals as well? No, I refuse that. We need to give a proper response to those people now. Imperialism has no color. It exists everywhere. And we must have the courage to identify it and point it out. And then to fight against us. Look at how we behave. And that leads me to encourage young people once again to engage in reflection, to create. You know that everything we do is important. Everything, almost everything. Well, in Burkina. Now I can say, thank God, things are going well. We have managed to preserve our way of giving birth. That means we can take cotton, weave it all the way to, we could no longer wear it. For us, Raga, that's how it is. But since we've already done it, we'll do it again. Everything is imported. And then he's even proud to wear the imported jacket. He pulls on it and he's happy. No, we need to change our behavior. We don't make anything. And as I was saying, we're going to open universities, technology institutes and all that, and we need to think. We need to think in order to create. If since the 1800s they've created engines, and today the same P-50 or CPLAR engine, we're not able to maintain it. Doesn't that mean that when God created humans, he needed to move around? He put all the resources at our disposal. The wind, the sun, the fire, these are the three most powerful things. On top of that, he gave us the earth and clay, the blood of the earth, which is oil, right? And iron. Iron and all its components that make steel. He made all this available to us to make our lives easier. With earth and clay, we can farm, we can make cement, we can do many things. Iron and its component, that's steel, which is used in your concrete and everything else. And the womb of the earth, that's oil, which is the global energy that we have. But what are we black people doing with all that? We aren't even able to take clay today and turn it into cement ourselves because those factories, we pay for them. We don't manufacture. We aren't able to take oil today and build our own refinery to process it ourselves. We're not even talking about paying for the factory. We don't manufacture. Today, we can't even take the land as it is, extract iron from it, add carbon, and make steel. Is that normal? But are we cursed or not? If we're not cursed, that means we should be able to do it. And that's what I want us to strive for. We must be able to do it, to produce it ourselves. I was telling someone the other day, he said, if you think about it, every morning when you wake up, you should always ask yourself some questions. Suppose you sleep naked. You wake up, you grab a towel, that's something you wear. Your slippers, your toothbrush, that's something you use. You finish all that, the clothes you put on, that's something you wear. You're covered from head to toe and everything is imported. We don't make anything here. You go sit down for your breakfast, the cup, the tea, everything except maybe the sugar which comes from the port, everything is imported. You go to take your motorcycle, your car, it's imported. We don't manufacture anything in Africa. It's good to fight imperialism, but it's also important to tell ourselves the truth and wake up. And these are questions we need to ask ourselves. Why us? We don't make anything? Of course, people are here. The need to get around is here. But to get around, whether it's the vehicles we use, the motorcycles, the cars, the planes, we haven't created any of them. What is our purpose? To communicate, before we would take a horse. You tell Waiwei to go deliver messages to Yagu, you take the horse and you talk. Then the white man came, he invented the telephone, the internet and everything. And us, we just learn to use it. We film ourselves, we do all sorts of things with it. We insult each other, we do everything. And then we're happy, even though we haven't created anything. We don't even know how it works. We asked the iPhone guys to make it work in Africa. I told them that Africans have the means to pay for iPhones, but there are no stores in Africa. But our sisters still managed to get their hands on the latest iPhone. For what purpose? We're not even aware of ourselves. But let's try to manufacture. Let's try to understand, at least to copy. There are so many things that God has made available to humans. But we have to use our brains to transform things. If people enslaved us, we fell behind. But today, there's no explanation, there's no reason. We have to catch up by copying. If we don't do it, it means we're refusing to use our brains. And if we refuse to use our brains, what does that mean? Do you know what that implies? It means we're against God. Because we're saying he was wrong to give us a brain. No, we don't need it. Let others do it. No, not like that. So that means we're saying that God made a mistake. And by taking this stance, we put ourselves as enemies of God. It's bitter. That's why he is angry with us. Wake up. Wake up. It is actually quite deep, but please don't laugh. He is angry with us because black people made use of their brains. They tell me that black people have created things and then that's it. Yes. The tricolor fairies were created by a black person in Africa. All these fairies in Ouagadougou represent French wisdom. Black people created that. We are sick. All the devices today, MRI, scanner, what else? What are we doing? We don't want to create, yes, but we also don't want to copy. We don't want to use our brains to try to understand and to do things. Our brains aren't really serving us. It's like we're telling God that he was wrong to give us a brain. I don't agree with that. That's why I invite everyone to ask themselves questions, especially young people. I'm really speaking to the youth so that we can change the paradigm. And we need to seek knowledge, strive to produce, and aim to be useful on earth. Otherwise, for now, it's not much really. It's really not much. We need to take part. You can see it today, whether we like it or not. You see the war going on, Iran and the United States. They're sitting far apart and bombing each other. What have we created? But you see, it's black people who are sitting around just camping out. And that's power, you see, but that's real power. What are you even doing? What are you creating? No, we can't focus. It's serious. Sometimes that's what they do. Let's think about it. How can we transform oil? How do we get clean energy to benefit from it? Let's think about it. The others, it's not like God came down himself. He didn't give them knowledge directly. They have the same brain as we do, but they decided to use their brains for a good purpose. But us, it's like we told God he was wrong to give us a brain. We act like we don't need it. We just leave it aside and let them do everything. And this is the result. So they come to manipulate us, beat us up, we fight among ourselves, and they take our resources and leave. Isn't that right? Just like how villages were resettled in this region, here. They had been chased away, then resettled. Today they're killing each other, fighting in Sheferi. Are we normal? Manesubuli. There you go, Manesubuli, from the slaughterland. No, it's okay. The politicians also ruined everything before, but now it's over. We don't need to fight over these things anymore. So I especially urge young people to rethink our approach so that we are no longer dependent on others, so that we are no longer dragged along, and so that we create, that we do many things. Because if we don't do it, we will disappear. We will disappear. Because if those people come back here, you'll envy the fate of the dead. You'll be telling me about the night of the dead, I swear to you. Even nature itself will turn against us. If today it starts raining in certain ways, we don't even have proper drainage. That means if the sky cries more than usual, all our cities will be gone. If the earth just gets angry and shakes a little, all our buildings will collapse because we haven't done anything. God has made it so that we don't have those kinds of natural disasters. But why don't we take advantage of that? Look at the current geopolitical situation in the world. The smartest thing we could do is to focus on Africa. God has opened a window for us to find a way out. But people don't see it. They don't see it. And when we make the effort to speak up, to raise awareness, yes, the smartest ones understand, but you'll see the fools tomorrow, they'll insult us. They'll insult us, they'll make fun of us, because there are black people who are like, you see, it's as if we had black people chained up under trees. Their master mistreats them. At night he talks, chains them to the trees, they're stuck over there. We say we're going to go save them. We do everything necessary to fight, crossing minefields, barbed wire and all that. We arrive, we remove their chains, and we say, guys, follow us, we're leaving. Some will follow you, but there are black people there who will shout, oh, master, he came to save me. Come put my chain back on, because I'm not causing any trouble. That's how it is. There are black people like that. Do whatever you want to unchain them. He will call out to the master, come, come, there's someone who came here to save me, to unchain me. Come put the chain back on, I prefer to stay with you. It's unfortunate, and I'm speaking on the scale of African Africa. It's unfortunate. I almost wasn't born because of the effect of these people. Me, my grandmother, according to what I know from the story, she was almost, I would say, at menopause, but she was able to have 2 children. Since she was over 50 years old, it was considered a miracle in their village. Why couldn't she have children, Tommy? Because those people had taken them. She experienced colonial penetration here. It was forbidden to have children at the end of that marriage. They killed almost all the men in the village. And it was only after independence that she was able to have her children. I truly believe that I almost wasn't born at all, primarily because of the profound and lasting effects those events had on me. During that time, I was incredibly close to her, and because of our deep bond, she felt comfortable enough to tell me a great many things about her life and the secrets she had been keeping for so long. I saw the marks on her body from the cruelty of those people. I was 10 years old when she died in 1998. As a result, I live with the lasting consequences of colonization firsthand every single day. As a matter of fact, many of you probably know this quite well already. But some people still, they continue to worship their wrongdoers from the past. They love them more than themselves. They love them more than their own brothers. That's what I don't understand. These people, we have to fight them. We have to fight them without any feelings of love. And we are not going to turn the other cheek. What they did to our ancestors yesterday, what they did to our grandparents, what they make us endure today through terrorism, if we don't stay focused, what their children will make our children go through will be worse than hell. And we don't want that. So we have to fight. We have to fight and stop being traitors, people ready to sell out their country or whatever else. We have to stay so that there isn't a single one left. Thank God. I say again, God, thank you. We are lucky. It's that after these 4 years, we have been able to see that many people have understood the significance of our message, the meaning of our struggle in Burkina here, but even in Africa. And to those who continue to raise awareness, to campaign, to help people understand, to open people's eyes, I congratulate you and encourage you from here on. It's the only way to make people understand that it's possible. And through our actions, I think you can see that it's possible. We can do it. In any case, we will launch programs soon and you will see. We will build our countries, we will build our cities, we will build our roads. And we will live in peace. As for terrorism, this is widely considered to be the most unfortunate and cursed black human race in history. People who aren't even in agreement with their own intelligence, that is to say, if they had even a little bit of brains, they would sit down and ask themselves, since you get up and come to kill our hearts, that's already a lot to do. It's a grave, that's it, right? Okay. The Kalashnikov you take to kill love. You're the one who made it. It's for a cave, so why use that? Go make your own knife and then come. You carve your own club, then it's something you made yourself, it's halal. You come, we'll fight. The vehicle you're driving isn't even yours. And you say you're doing jihad to kill the infidel. You see how dishonest they are. And there are some who are already aware of that. It's their leader who knows they're playing a different game. But the fools who get killed like that. Every time I look at reports from the front, the news from the front, I don't like it. Not because I see black people who have been killed, but that's all they deserve. That's all they deserve. Would you really enjoy seeing so many corpses? But they come to kill out of stupidity. They come, they shout, so why don't you have the name of God? But that weapon, it's for a kafir who did it. The result you wanted, it's a kafir. If the instigator, all he has to do is sit down and think, and then shout for him. Why? You see how we are. So that kind of species must disappear. That's why our forces are engaged and they will eliminate them to the last one. That there are no restrictions. And Burkina is real and it won't even take long. As I said, keep working hard. We have made progress, Burkina. But you see, I spoke in general terms about Africa. It wouldn't be wise for Burkina to just follow. Move forward as it is doing. It should be a movement in the blood. But, ouch. That's our limit here. That's the problem. And when we achieve a lot, when we do a lot, it doesn't even please some of our own brothers. But, well, despite that, for my part, I encourage you to stay focused. Work so that what we produce is what we consume, in light of what I have explained to you. Work to maintain social cohesion, to put patriotism above all other considerations because we are human beings first and foremost. And every human being must respect another human being because of life itself, which you cannot create. And for any of those individuals who might come to take our lives or utterly destroy our very way of life, we will fight them with every ounce of our strength, without even a single moment of hesitation. Beyond that, as for the rest, whether it's our resources or anything else, be sure of one thing: Burkina Faso is a mirror. I've told you, others see themselves reflected in it, and everyone is waiting to see. Let's move quickly. Let's prove to them that it's possible. Many African countries are waiting to see if we will succeed. Guys, let's move fast. Let's go. We will make it. Every time we do something, if there are people nearby, they bark. What do? Don't pay attention to them. When you're traveling, you don't stop and get off your bike for every dog that barks at you. No, keep going. He'll see in the end where you've gotten to. That's what's most important. So, I said I would speak without holding back for the camera. That's how it is. There you go, we're in Waibia, and in Waibia, that's how we talk. But I knew that if I sent the Fada Brigade before the Waibia Brigade, I wouldn't be able to come here. That's why I sent both brigades. So we won't take any longer than this. It was a general outcry to the black community, if I can put it that way, so that we wake up. Because God is not necessarily pleased with what we're doing. Our behavior, and especially us, the youth, I want us to change. To change, to get serious, and to work. To transform our lives, to take part in the life of the planet, and to think about tomorrow. If we're not strong, they will come and crush us one way or another. We have to be strong. And we're on the right track. And we have to keep going this way. So, young students, the ball is in your court now, students and pupils. Work hard, study, use the internet to seek knowledge. Copy everything you can copy. We are putting all the necessary conditions in place so that you can succeed. And in the universities where we want to introduce technology, it's not just to become engineers and then come sit in an office and help those people. If you are an engineer, you have your thesis, you either copy something or you create something. Doing paperwork for languages, that's fine, but we won't be giving that anymore. That's it. Even in technical high schools, this needs to be taken into account. If at the end of the year, a student has to write a small thesis, give them the questions, but there should be no copying. If it's just a part of an engine, then he can just copy it. He creates something. Those long papers, like a thesis that just rambles on with a lot of nonsense, he talks. We don't want that anymore. If you're technical, you're technical. You do, you prove. So, I'm counting on you. We will provide all the necessary infrastructure as much as possible in high schools and universities so that you can work and change lives. And our elders who are here, present, before they leave us, they should be able to hold their heads high, knowing they have left behind a deserving generation. That's it, and we have to prove it. And we are capable of doing it. So I'm counting on each and every one of you. Spread the word. And as I said, when you leave this room, the smartest will understand my message, but those who are closed-minded will start to oppose me, to hate me. Bakabamba. Let's stay focused. Let's stay focused. Tomorrow better awaits us. It's possible. It's possible. I want you to believe in yourselves. It's possible. Believe in yourselves. I swear to you, it's possible. Anything you can imagine is possible. Take the time to do it right. We won't be able to do it just like that, in one go, but it's possible. Wishing everyone good focus. May God grant everyone good intelligence. May God awaken us, enlighten us, and illuminate us. That is the most important thing right now, that God guides our steps. May He inspire us and give us a good heart to act in favor of every Burkinabé we meet, to act in favor of every African we meet, to act in favor of every citizen of the world, every creation of God who is passionate of peace and justice. May God help us to be able to act in favor of His nation. So I wish you a very good day. Thank you very much for this long journey together. And may God bless my dear homeland, the homeland in the north.
So families, after listening to this evergreen episodic video from Captain Ibrahim Traore, where he has just been able to dish it out like always, family, the billion-dollar question is, what do you think? Kindly do well to hit the like button and subscribe, and do well to engage in the comment section. I'll see you on the next video. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.